traveling to a different world and becoming a legendary elf training master step by step with the divine bestowed Chanadol. No golden fingers, slowly developing flow. The protagonist loves BT purely, only for the female lead SS, and enjoys the light-hearted and humorous Pokémon novel with development flow. Reader Dad, you can take a look. Chapter 1. Crossing the Elf World. You are listening at novelfull.audio. As the golden finger of time travel, choose your little elf. The voice of God was ethereal, followed by N options. 1. A small fire dragon that carries X and Y into fossils from birth. 2. Ibrahimovic can evolve and degenerate at will. 3. The strongest artificial elf. Super Dream. 4. Guladu, who can fly. 5. The croaking frog that can bind evolution. 6. Laluras with dreamy essence and blood. 6. 6666666. The sunny day did not hesitate and chose the option he thought was the most suitable. Lalulacy, but she can evolve into the most beautiful elf in Pokémon, Chanado. Even the most ordinary Chanado would choose her on a sunny day. How many nights, on sunny days, do you fall asleep watching the pictures of Chanado? Sunny was mistakenly killed, God did it. The scumbag next door swore to the sky that if there were half a lie, the sky would hit 5 thunderbolts. As a result, he, who had been absent from class for hundreds of thousands of years, had a sudden idea and decided to fulfill the scumbag's promise. However, because he had not used his divine power for too long, the sky thunderbolt killed the great wizard Qing Tian who was playing the elf game. A person cannot be resurrected after death, but they can be reincarnated. God governs 3,000 worlds, so he made an exception and reincarnated Sunny to another world. Then there was the scene of the beginning. This is a world that is extremely similar to Pokémon anime, and also one of the 3,000 worlds controlled by this unreliable deity. The weather is so clear, let's call it sunny. The man held the baby in his arms and said to the mother on the hospital bed. Dream, give this elf egg a drop of your essence and blood. The deity took out an elf egg from his own small world and conveyed his will to the divine elf Dream. This pink elf listened to God's will without any hesitation. A glowing pink blood droplet squeezed out from his forehead and slowly drifted towards the elf egg in front of him. Then you deliver it to. Dreamy gave a white look. As the original divine beast of the Pokémon world, Dreamy is not the strongest, but it is the elf who knows the origin of the world the most. Arthas created the world, but in the end, fantasy gained the love of the gods and gained absolute freedom in this world, at the cost of doing something for the gods. So it has long been commonplace. Longua, Anyang town. Lying on the crib on a sunny day, fantasy found him with an elf egg. Welcome to this world, this is your gift in this world. Fantasy Tail touched the elf egg and then handed it to Sunny with his psychic power. Little one, let's meet again if we have the chance. After giving the gift, the dream disappeared immediately. Looking at the elf egg next to him on a sunny day, if it weren't for his weak body, he really wanted to hold it. Husband. Look. Liu, who had just gone out to make milk powder, saw the elf egg next to her child and quickly called her husband, Qinyan. Larulas, use your psychic power. At the age of 5, the sunny day commands Laluras like a trainer. Larula ignored the command of the sunny day and continued to play with Barbie dolls with enthusiasm. On a sunny day, wanting to cry without tears, Laluras completely disobeyed his commands and was not at all like his little elf, but rather like his sister. Snatch Larula's toy and, under duress on a sunny day, say. Larulas, if you don't listen to me, I'll break it. Lalu. Larula reached out her hand to grab the Barbie doll, but her short hand couldn't reach the hand held high on a sunny day. Seeing that she couldn't retrieve the toy, Lalula's became angry and her body emitted a faint light. The next second, Lalula's disappeared. Sunny day. In no time, Li Yu's irritable voice came from downstairs. Li Yu snatched the Barbie doll and then returned it to Heracles. He then said fiercely to Sunny. How many times have you said it? Don't bully Heracles. Apologize quickly. Sorry, Heracles. Apologize tearfully on a sunny day. Heracles snorted lightly, ignored him, and started playing with Barbie dolls on her own. Sunny touched the bag on his head and carefully reflected on his mistake. At least there is also a soul in its early 20s residing within its body, making such actions too childish. The setting is that after time travel, although memory is preserved, due to physical reasons, the mind cannot behave like an adult, and instead involuntarily does some childish actions for children. But on a sunny day, I really can't control myself. In this world, I have to be 10 years old to have my first elf. Sunny can't wait any longer. Commanding the elves and engaging in elf battles was his biggest dream before his death. Now, the opportunity to realize his dream is right in front of him, but you want him to wait for 10 years. Sunny can't wait at all. This is what led to this scene. It's like seeing a naked beauty, how many people can resist and not pounce? Until evening, Heracles ignored Sunny Day. Just when Sunny Day thought Heracles was really angry, a small white foot pressed against Sunny's stomach. On a sunny day, I finally let go and fell asleep. 5 years from now. Heracles, you can be my initial elf. Please. On the eve of Sunny's 10th birthday, Sunny was pleading with Heracles. He had originally thought that the Heracles god had given him was an elf who belonged to him wholeheartedly, but the reality was that she not only took away most of the love from her childhood parents, but also did not listen to him at all. Even if he wanted to subdue Heracles was unwilling. The reason is that it's too dark inside the Pokémon ball and she doesn't like it. There's no way to deal with her on a sunny day. After all, if it makes Heracles angry, Mom Li Yu won't let herself go. If a 10-year-old boy has his own elf, he can embark on a journey as an elf trainer, which is similar to games, but the actual situation is very different. Although they can become elf trainers at the age of 10, the vast majority of parents will allow their children to stay indoors until the age of 13 or 14. After all, this is not anime. Dead people cannot be resurrected, and wild elves are not harmless creatures in anime. More often than not, they have a strong sense of territory. In situations where the knowledge of elves is not rich enough, if one dares to break in, they may be expelled at best, and in more severe cases, they may die on the spot. However, under the years of operation of the Elf Alliance organization, the vast majority of elves will not kill humans, but everything is absolute, and the disappearance rate of trainers who adventure every year is still unbeatable. There used to be a type of elf called the Petrified Helmet, but due to its extreme hatred towards humans, it has now been renamed the Fossil Helmet. Heracles looked at the troubled sunny day with mixed feelings in her heart. The main reason she didn't agree was that her mother told her not to agree to Sunny's request to become his elf now, otherwise according to Sunny's personality, she would immediately pack her luggage and run away from home. And how dangerous the outside world is. Under the influence of TV dramas and Li Yu's earnest persuasion, Heracles has long been extremely resistant to the outside world. But regardless of the sunny weather, in his opinion, 10 years, a whole 10 years, do you know how he spent these 10 years? After tomorrow's birthday, even if dreams come, don't try to stop the determination to go out on a sunny day. The sunny day said it. In order to fulfill his dream of becoming an elf trainer, Sunny arrived at this legendary elf market. Take a look, the latest elf eggs released by Xinle Cultivation House are all rare and almost divine. There's nothing you can't imagine without these eggs. As soon as I entered the elf market, there were egg vendors shouting. If you don't like Lala Rash, you can start from chapter 15, watch chapter 49 evolve into Chanadol. Thank you for your support. If you have any suggestions, please feel free to comment. I will reply periodically. Thank you, Lord. Chapter 2. Xinle Cultivation House. You are listening at Novel Full. Audio. Boss, do you really have any elves in this egg? Sunny walked up to the vendor and asked seriously. Seeing a guest coming, the vendor greeted them with a smile. Of course. Xinle Cultivation House is a big brand. Didn't you watch TV last year? A trainer hatched a mini dragon from an egg, and now it's the famous Dragon King. The vendor forgot the name of the lucky one for a moment, but on a sunny day, his eyes lit up and he added. Zhang Tianji. Yes, it's him. That mini dragon egg was drawn from the blind box activity at our Xinle Cultivation House. After listening to the vendor's words, my eyes lit up on a sunny day and I asked. How much does it cost to open a blind box once? Since the age of 5, Liu has been saving pocket money, in his words, to accumulate funds for the start of the project. The life of Xiaoji in animations or games is not realistic. Only families who have made outstanding contributions to the country can enjoy the same treatment as them, giving away a rare level elf as soon as they leave the house. The vast majority of people can only come to the elf market to purchase initial elves. Although Sunny Day has been a person of 2 generations, in the previous life he was an otaku, and in this life he is still just a child. The otaku is always labeled as foolish and has more money, while a child's character is not enough, and his emotions are reflected on his face. The merchant looked interested in the sunny weather and began to introduce. We have an elf blind box worth 50,000 yuan here, which must include 1 elf egg. Now we're running a promotion, buy 2 get 1 free. After listening to the price on a sunny day, I was stunned. I have only saved 30,000 yuan since I was 5 years old, and I haven't even had the opportunity to open a Pokémon egg. Why am I not a wealthy second generation? Boss. Sunny thought for a moment, but still didn't express his request to make the vendors sell blind boxes cheaper. There may be a god inside an egg, and the price of an egg is not limited to 50,000 yuan, which is 500 million yuan. There are definitely wealthy people who will buy it. Looking at the calm and hesitant expression of the sunny day, the vendor knew that there must be no money on the sunny day, so he asked. Little brother, how much money do you have now? Sunny looked frustrated and said. 30,000 yuan. The vendor frowned and thought to himself. If you purchase 1,000 eggs, including shipping, store fees, packaging fees, etc., the cost of 1 egg is about 2,000. If you purchase 30,000 eggs, you can earn 28,000 yuan, which is also acceptable. So the merchant said in embarrassment. How about this? I see you really want it, little brother. 30,000 is just 30,000. I'll give you another Pokémon ball, but when it hatches, you must help me promote the store to Duo. What do you think? Upon hearing the vendor's voluntary price reduction, Sunny was overjoyed. However, thinking of the sudden price reduction of 20,000 yuan for this 50,000 yuan product, it was estimated that the vendor was selling at a loss. Despite feeling extremely reluctant, Sunny firmly refused the vendor. Boss, no, I can't let you suffer. After arguing for a while, the two of them walked out the door firmly on Sunny Day, promising to go home and find their parents to get money, and then sell it to him for 40,000 yuan. Watching the clear sky recede, the vendor not only sighed. If all the buyers were like sunny weather, they would have already become rich. A little chubby guy came to a vendor's shop shortly after leaving on a sunny day, threw out a stack of banknotes, and then said. Boss, this is 1 million, give me another 100 blind boxes. Young master, I really can't afford the price of 1,100,000 blind boxes. If this continues, I will be at a loss. The vendor said with a bitter face. Stop talking nonsense, I've opened blind boxes with you hundreds of times and hatched a rare elf. If you compare more, I'll go to the neighboring store to buy it. The little chubby man said impatiently, and then he wanted to get the money back. The vendor quickly put away the money and said, Alas, my little ancestor, who would have called you an old customer? Even if I lose money, I want to satisfy you. The vendor took out a small cart and placed 100 blind boxes. The chubby guy pushed the car and left. On the way home on a sunny day, he wasn't that foolish either. On the way, he also took a look at other elf shops. But the more I look, the more helpless I become. The green caterpillar can be purchased for 2,000 yuan, and an adult ba-de dish only costs 5,000 yuan, but a small elf from the imperial 3 families costs a whole million yuan. It can be said that spirits like the green caterpillar and the unicorn have seen a sharp increase in prices compared to other spirits. The reason for this is that the lives of most insect-type elves are too brief, thus losing the value of cultivation. Ba-de-dio is a relatively powerful elf, but usually their lifespan is only 1 year. Although trainers carefully train them to have a much longer lifespan, no one wants to give precious resources to an elf that may die suddenly at any time. So unless there is really no other way, no one is willing to use insect-type elves. After all, the cost of cultivating one elf is huge, and other types of elves are strong and have a long lifespan. In comparison, insect-type elves have no advantage. After all, a powerful trainer must have a powerful elf. And without elves, trainers are just weak humans. Superhumans like Xiaoji can only exist in anime. Think about the countless interlopers in the novel, who is not the invincible golden finger at the beginning, who is like themselves. Well, Sunny Day suddenly remembered that when God chose for him, there seemed to be an option for the divine beast, but he didn't even blink an eye before choosing Lalura's. Lalula sensed the scent of sunny weather and in an instant moved towards her side. She let out a soft cry and reached out to hold on to Sunny's hand. Then the two of them instantly moved onto the sofa. Because Sunny Days always have strange ideas in her mind, Larula's learned the skill of instant movement early on to avoid Sunny Days. When there were no arguments, Larula's was still willing to play with Sunny Days. The love story between Katy Dog and Bijiao is playing on TV, with Larula's curling up her little feet and enjoying it. Seeing this scene on a sunny day, the frustration of not having enough money to buy a little elf was swept away. The arrival of Lalula's made up for her long-standing desire for a younger sister, and Lalula's could also evolve into Chanado. Thinking of Chanado's graceful figure, Sunny Days couldn't help but daydream. Touching Lalula's head with her hand, Lalula's felt a nauseating evil thought. Concentrate and use her mental power to flick away the evil thoughts. Lalula's looked at Sunny with disgust and then started watching TV again. Watching Lalura's look at herself with a look that seemed like a scumbag, Sunny felt ashamed in her heart. Well, it's a bit refreshing. Ah no, I am very ashamed. There are no other strange emotions at all. After all, having strange thoughts about Lalura's is pure, big B.T. However, having strange thoughts about Chanado is human nature. Larula's, you've learned how to recite. Sunny suddenly reacted and exclaimed happily. This is not a game after all. In the game, at level 6, Larula's will have mental power, and at level 16, she can learn to move instantly. However, this is not the case in this world. Mastering skills requires relying on one's own understanding. If the intelligence is not enough, that elf may not be able to learn all 4 skills in its lifetime. And Larula's now knows 3 skills. Shouting, chanting, and instant movement. How can this not surprise the Sunny Day? Chapter 3. Xiaofuhao Ponzi in Anyang Town. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. De Ko Lois Ara Trong Quatrin Lay Text. Chapter 4. Fat Man's Rare Elves. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Come out, Bobo. Sunny agreed to this duel. If the opponent only sent 1 elf, he might not have lost. Moreover, allowing Bobo to experience the combat atmosphere in advance would also be beneficial for his future training. Bobo. Good elf, it's up to you. Come out, IB, 6 tails, Laplace. A red light flashed, and 3 little elves appeared in front of the fat man. On a sunny day, my eyes were stunned. These 3 little elves are all rare level elves, and each one has a high market price. Among them, Laplace is even rarer among the rarities. Enjoying the envious gaze of the sunny day, the chubby man continued. Alright, you choose one to fight. Elf battles are different from games. In the game, in order to balance, the power of elves is balanced. However, in reality, besides learning different moves, elves also have many limitations based on their own types. For example, at sea, if you release a lava snail, just wait to collect its body. Although Laplace is very rare, it is essentially an aquatic animal. Coupled with its recent birth, if it is simply for the sake of victory, it is definitely more advantageous to fight against Laplace. Thinking of this, Sunny made a decision. You can use Ibrahimovic or 6 tails. This is on land, and Laplace's combat power will decrease significantly. The fat man listened and looked at Sunny in surprise. He took out Laplace, just to show off himself, not thinking too much. Now that he heard Sunny say this, he realized that Laplace was looking at him with grievances. Quickly putting Laplace away, the chubby guy thought for a moment and chose Ibrahimovic. Simply speaking, in terms of winning, the 6 tails had a greater chance of winning. After all, his 6 tails were born with the spark skill, which gave him the opportunity to burn the opponent during battles. During the rookie battle, once the burning effect was added, it basically laid the foundation for the victory. But even sunny days don't care so much about winning or losing. I care too much and instead fall behind. Then I'll use Ibrahimovic on my end. I am Ponzi from Anyang town, trainer number AY9999, launching a battle against you. I am Sunny from Anyang town, trainer ID AY12138, accepting your battle. The two of them looked at each other with a smile and then became serious. Although we don't care about winning or losing, who doesn't crave victory? And the other party's elf is IB, a very magical little elf. There are already 8 evolution forms in the game, and I feel that there may be more evolution forms in the future. Combined with her cute appearance, she is a popular presence in her own world no less than Pai Shen. Bobo, fly higher first, keep the distance. This is the advantage of the flying system, which is not reflected in the game, but in reality, this advantage is greatly expanded. When Ibrahimovic was at a low level, there were no long-range attack methods, and Bobo was flying in the sky, which means Bobo had absolute preemptive power. As long as you are careful when attacking Ibrahimovic and being countered by him, victory is actually very simple. Bobo, use impact on Ibrahimovic. Just like we trained before. Bobo responded with a sound, flapping his small wings and flying towards Ibrahimovic. Ibrahimovic grasped the distance and hit back at the right time. It seems that both little elves can only hit this skill. Bobo and IB collided and made a loud sound. Then both little elves looked at their masters with tearful eyes. It seems that the collision just now hurt. After all, not long after being born, the two little ones have not suffered such injustice. Sunny and Fatty smiled helplessly and opened their arms. The two little guys quickly rushed towards their respective trainers. Stop crying, comforted two little elves. Sunny and Fatty made an agreement that after training the Pokémon, the two of them would compete again. Returning home, sitting next to Larula's on a sunny day. Larula's glanced at the sunny day and then continued watching TV. Other people's Larulas are all little lowly, shy and timid with a playful appearance, while our own Larulas are just a house made with unpredictable temperaments. Sunny couldn't figure it out, only saying that the game anime was causing harm. Then he opened the potato chips that Larulas had placed on the table and stuffed them into his mouth. Larulas watched as the snacks she had bought with her hard-earned pocket money were thrown away by the sunny day, and her temper suddenly rose. Her memory covered the sunny day and she threw him out. Larulas, what are you doing? Silent on a sunny day, I patted my butt. Although you have a good temper, you can't bully me like this. Lalula's looked with tears in her eyes at the potato chips in her hand on sunny day. Sunny finally realized the problem and took out the last complete potato chip, carefully asking. Do you want to eat this? She shook the potato chips in her hand on a sunny day. Lalula nodded aggrieved, knowing that she had bought the potato chips with her pocket money. Ah, Sunny, holding potato chips, leaned over. Lalula's obediently closed her eyes and opened her mouth. Looking at the adorable appearance of Lalula, on a sunny day, she put the potato chips into her mouth and chewed them heavily. After waiting for a long time without eating the potato chips, Lalula opened her eyes and saw that the sunny day had also eaten the residue of the potato chip bag, and she even had a very impolite hiccup. Mom, Lalula is going to kill. The sound of mournful cries on a sunny day echoed through the sky. At night, Lalula is gulping down potato chips, drinking cola, and watching TV. On a sunny day, he faced the wall next to the TV and pondered, bullying Lalula. His mother beat him up without saying a word. Liu sat at the dining table and suddenly said, Xiaofuhao, what badge do you plan to go and get first? On a sunny day, don't go too far and tell my mother about my plan to get the insect emblem first by going through the lost forest to Lin'an Taoist temple. Lin'an Daoguan, that's okay. What's wrong, Mom? It's nothing, I thought you would start from the national highway and go to Iwatani City first to get the rock badge. Sunny, before the elf eggs hatched, it was indeed this plan. First, take the rock badge, then the water badge, and follow the quick strategy of the elf trainer badge given by the predecessors. But my first elf is Bobo. Following this strategy, I will be stuck in the first Taoist temple for the rest of my life. Flying and rock series, you really have it, Mom. But it's okay if you don't go there. There have been frequent earthquakes in Iwatani City recently, and it's now under lockdown. Many experts and master trainers have gone to investigate the situation, so for safety reasons, it's best not to go to Iwatani City for now. Sunny nodded in agreement. After all, it did not conflict with his own plan. Okay, if you know, it's okay. We'll have to face the wall for 10 minutes before we can eat at the table. Well, okay. Chapter 5. Departure. You are listening at novelfull.audio. After staying at home for another month in the summer, Bobo was finally trained to fight normally. I will never again, like before, drill into the arms of a sunny day when I feel pain from a collision. Lalula's, Popo, we're ready to depart. Pack your luggage and say to the two little elves on a sunny day. Dad, Mom, I'm leaving now. Although we are already prepared to part ways, when they do appear, sunny days and parents will still be reluctant to part ways. But for the sake of his own dream, Sunny gritted his teeth, and without waiting for his parents' response, he put on his backpack and set off. My parents stood at the door watching the clear sky leave. Xiaotian's father, Xiaotian, is going on a long journey alone, so there won't be anything wrong, right? Don't worry, Xiaotian is already an adult and nothing will happen. And there's also Lalurasi, she's very powerful. When she encounters danger, she will use instant movement to take Xiaotian away. I know, if it weren't for Lalulasi, I wouldn't have trusted Xiaotian to go out so young. So, my wife, just have 100 hearts. When birds grow up, they will eventually leave the nest. But, my husband. I just can't bear to part with him. Xiaotian, this child is so old and it's his first time traveling. I feel empty now, and you too. At that time, I promised Xiaotian to travel, but you didn't know how to stop me. No matter how old a girl is, she always complains about her husband the same way. Wife, since Xiaotian has left, why don't we have another one? No need. Taking care of children is tiring. Wife, I don't mean anything else, I just can't bear to see my wife feel sad. And once we were born, we became familiar. We raised a child once, and then we became familiar with it again. Upon hearing Qingyan's words, Li Yu hesitated for a moment and looked at the empty room. With a hint of shyness, she said, "Husband, close the door tightly. On a sunny day, I didn't even know that my family had abandoned him as soon as I left. At this moment, he is still fantasizing about a better life in the future." In order to ensure the safety of trainers, the Lost Forest is also divided into a beginner zone and an adventure zone. The novice area is regularly cleaned by professionals from the Elf Alliance to ensure that there are no dangerous elves in the area. In addition, regular patrols by forest rangers can greatly avoid accidents for trainers. Therefore, the elves in the novice area are mostly weak and common. The adventure area has not been cleared by the Alliance, and it is inhabited by wild and powerful elves. Forest rangers rarely interfere too much with the ecological environment of the adventure area, so the adventure area is relatively dangerous. As a novice trainer who has just started an adventure, sunny days naturally do not choose dangerous adventure areas, but instead choose relatively safe novice areas. This time, the main purpose is to train Bobo and also to see if he can encounter a highly qualified elf. This is a safety watch, please make sure to wear it properly. If you encounter danger, you can press the button to call for help. If you are walking directly through the forest, just hand over the watch to the safety officer in the Lin'an safety zone. As a member of the elf trainer, the benefits I enjoy are not only free treatment for the elves, but also a certain level of health protection for adventuring in a safe area. If you don't have this safety watch, you will have to rely on yourself when encountering any unexpected situations in the safe zone adventure. It has to be said that the Elf Alliance can spread all over the world, and its service quality is truly beyond words. After consulting with the service personnel in the safety zone about some information about the Lost Forest, Sunny bought some items that may be encountered in the forest, such as antidotes, restorations, etc., and embarked on a journey. It has been half a day since I walked into the forest on a sunny day, and I didn't expect the safety zone to be so safe. I didn't even see a green caterpillar on the way. The plan to train Bobo on sunny days has come to naught. Do you say to have Larula and Popo fight each other? Don't joke, although Larula's is also a baby, she is only a few weeks younger than Sunny Days. Although she has not received professional training, her strength cannot be underestimated. She used her mental power to fly the sunny day without even gasping for breath. If it weren't for the strength of Larula's here, Sunny's parents wouldn't have been so happy to let Sunny take risks. The only regret for Sunny Days is that Larula's doesn't want to be tamed, she's more like a sister than a little elf. There is no other way to deal with this on sunny days, after all, at home, Larula's has never been treated as a little elf. Even the room Larula's has her own exclusive room, just staying with Sunny since childhood. The two children used to sleep together, and after Larula's agreed, the room was eventually changed to a miscellaneous room. As for Bobo, he barely has white strength at the moment, and the specific amount still needs to be tested at the Elf Center. This world has 7 levels of combat power. White, green, blue, purple, orange, red, and black. Although strong combat power does not necessarily guarantee victory, in the vast majority of cases, combat power can be said to be equal to strength, which is quite similar to games. Of course, with attribute restraint and proper combat power combination, elves can also defeat the strong with weakness. Larula's, are you hungry? Sunny asked Larula's, who was half his head small, and after walking for so long, he also felt a bit hungry. Larula's nodded. Take out the prepared dry food from the backpack, distribute some to Larula's, and call Popo out of the poke ball. The 3 little ones sit on the grass eating the dry food. Why doesn't Bobo eat energy blocks? The main reason is that there's no money to buy them on sunny days. Help, is there anyone? Help. Just after taking a few bites, I heard someone shouting for help in the jungle. Upon hearing a cry for help on a sunny day, I quickly got up and started running in the direction of the sound. Opening the jungle, a middle-aged man in a white coat fell to the ground, with several unicorns slowly wriggling beside him. Young man, please help me. Seeing a sunny day, the middle-aged man quickly called for help. The middle-aged man's face turned green, indicating that he had been poisoned by a unicorn beetle. Bobo, go up, use a peck on the unicorn beetle. The skills learned by elves are different from the original version. After all, they are also bird elves, but they cannot even use basic pecking attacks. It's too strange. The game needs balance, not novels. Under the attack of Bobo, a unicorn beetle quickly became unable to fight. But the other unicorn beetles quickly reacted. One unicorn beetle spat out white threads towards Bobo, while the other unicorn beetle emitted a faint green light from its head, and then the green light shot towards Bobo like a bullet. It's a poison needle skill. In the game, the unicorn beetle can be said to be a very disgusting elf for trainers because of its poisonous needle move. In the early stage of resource scarcity, once poisoned, it is necessary to quickly go to the elf center for treatment. How many times have the elves been on the brink of death on the way to the hospital, and then their eyes turn black? When they wake up again, they have already arrived at the elf center. And then my own money inexplicably decreased by half. This grudge is unforgettable. Larulus, use your psychic power to restrain other unicorns. However, Larulus did not release her skills upon hearing this, but instead looked at the bushes ahead with a serious gaze. Chapter 6, Come Out, Empress Nido. You are listening at novelfull.audio. In the bushes, a big wasp jumped out. Upon seeing the giant hornet, Larula's body emitted a light curtain, and then her mind turned into a huge net, enveloping the hornet. The newly emerged hornet immediately stopped in mid-air, but looking at Larula's furrowed brow, it was estimated that her memory would not be able to restrain it for long on a sunny day. Bobo, be careful to avoid the poisonous needle and use peck again. After giving orders to Bobo, Sunny ran to Uncle and rescued him while the elves were all fighting. Sunny had a brief understanding of the current situation, and he must first deal with the remaining 2 unicorn beetles, otherwise they would be in dire straits when the hornet broke free from its obsession. Bobo obediently dodged the poisonous needle, but the silk thread of another unicorn worm did not escape. In the game, 2C reduces her shooting speed, but in reality, even flying is a bit difficult for Bobo at this moment. As the threads became more and more entangled, Bobo was also wrapped into a large ball of fur. Bobo. On a sunny day, I was shocked and pale. If I hold it for too long, Bobo may be going to die. Come back, Bobo. Retrieved Bobo with the Pokémon ball. Now the problem arises. If it were only oneself, Larulus could use instant movement to escape with herself, but in that case, the middle-aged man would suffer. There is a backpack in the Pokémon ball. The middle-aged man pointed to the backpack in the distance and said, although he spoke incoherently, he understood it on a sunny day. The backpack was dragged by a unicorn beetle, struggling to move. Uncle must also have his own elves. As long as he can summon them, the crisis will naturally be resolved. After all, as an adult, elves cannot be weaker than themselves. Hand over the antidote to the middle-aged uncle, prepare to fight hard on a sunny day. Now Bobo can't fight. If the middle-aged uncle's elf can't change the battle situation, then on a sunny day, Larulus can only escape with herself. Without the restraint of Bobo, the remaining 2 unicorns have enough energy to deal with Sunny and others. It's not that easy to go back this time. I hurriedly dodged several attacks from the unicorn beetle, and finally approached my backpack on sunny days. Taking advantage of the unicorn beetle stealing the backpack and not paying attention, I got the backpack on a sunny day. Realizing that their loot had been stolen, the unicorn beetle turned around and looked angrily at the sunny day. The other unicorn beetles also approached, and the situation was not optimistic. On a sunny day, Lin'an stumbled and fell to the ground. Now there was no other way, and he ignored the attack of the unicorn beetle and focused on flipping his backpack. On the other hand, the great Needlebee broke free from the shackles of Larula's imagination, and it was very angry. Although the little elf in front of it had strange abilities, it could feel that the opponent's strength was not very strong. Experience of surviving in the wild tells it that as long as it adapts to its abilities, it is not difficult to defeat it. The unicorn beetle launched a venomous needle attack towards the sunny day. On a sunny day while flipping through a backpack, I didn't notice and was hit in the thigh by a poisonous needle. The intense pain began to spread from the thighs, and on a sunny day, I felt as if my thighs were numb. Consciousness began to blur, and Sunny finally felt the Pokémon ball from his backpack. Come out now. With a bang, white light suddenly appeared. A huge figure stood in front of the sunny day. This is a bipedal elf resembling a Tyrannosaurus rex, with a thick tail and round mouse ears, covered in hard scales. When it appears, the unicorn beetle is frightened and runs away. This is King Nido. No, it's Queen Nido. King Nido and Queen Nido look very similar, but they are two different types of elves. Their population consists only of females and no males, while in contrast, the population of King Nido does not have females and only males. The difference between the two lies in the color of the body and the horns on the head. After Nido, there are blue scales, and the horns on the head are very short and small. King Nido, on the other hand, has pink scales all over his body, and the horns on the head are thick and long. Nido, who was summoned, had not yet had a chance to react. The venomous needles of the hornet all hit it. The goal of the big needle bee was originally Sunny, but the sudden appearance of Nido disrupted its plan. Nido frowned and glanced at the large needle bee, then turned around to see the middle-aged uncle who was detoxifying. With a roar, he quickly rushed to the front of the hornet, kicking and lifting it twice in a row. The battle ended easily and beautifully. After Nido, it's done beautifully. The middle-aged uncle also slowed down at this moment and praised. Nido nodded after listening and slowly approached the poisoned Sunny Day. Sunny thought that Empress Nido was coming to save her, but to her surprise, she just picked up the Pokéball in Sunny's hand and pressed it against her. A red light enveloped Empress Nido. After Nido, he returned to the Pokémon ball. Anyway, thank you very much for saving me, Sunny Day. The middle-aged uncle's name is Lin'an, and he is an elf researcher. At this moment, he is thanking the recovering Sunny Day. It's okay, Dr. Lin, it's just a small matter. Sunny originally thought that this unfolding was like the story of the beginning of a game. The young man went to the wilderness and saved the doctor. Then the doctor gave him an elf and a guidebook, and from then on, the young man embarked on the path of collecting elves. But I already have a guidebook and elves, and the doctor came out too late. This is not a small matter. If it weren't for you just now, we would have been in danger. I must thank you well. Lin'an said seriously, if it weren't for the Sunny Day just now standing up, he might have died in the lost forest. The kindness of a drop of water should be repaid by a gushing spring. Not to mention the grace of saving lives. Dr. Lin'an said, thinking of something, he took out a red stone from his backpack and said to Lin'an, I don't have anything good on me right now. I'll give you this fire stone. This. On a sunny day, waving hands repeatedly, the fire stone is not cheap. This mysterious stone that can evolve elves is worth a lot of money. Just hold it, as our researchers divide the evolutionary stone into several pieces every year. Lin'an stuffed the fire stone into Sunny Sky. Thank you, Doctor. Sunny accepted the fire stone and then asked in confusion. Doctor, why don't you release your elves? If Empress Nido is present, then the hornet cannot be your opponent at all. Lin'an scratched his head awkwardly and said, this Nido queen was not cultivated by me, so she didn't follow my command very much. For the sake of convenience, I usually let it stay in the Pokémon ball. This time, these Pokémon snatched away its backpack. Speaking, Lin'an looked at Larulus and said, you have cultivated this Larulus very well. If it weren't for Larulasi restraining the hornet just now, relying solely on waves would have made everyone's eyes black. Thank you for your praise, Doctor. Actually, I didn't do much. Sorry to scratch my head on a sunny day. Larula's glanced at the sunny day and didn't do anything except make herself angry every day. However, thanks to the sunny weather, Larula's realized early on how to move and report in an instant, and how to use her mental power to clean up the sunny day. Women are inherently weak, but as sisters, they are strong. By the way, Doctor, what are you doing in the Lost Forest? It wasn't until Sunny finished speaking that he realized he had said the wrong thing. After all, everyone has their own secrets, and casual inquiries can be unpleasant. Lin Fei didn't care about this and said casually, when I passed by the Lost Forest, I found a strange hole, so I stayed here to investigate. Come with me, I'll take you to see. Sunny also aroused curiosity, so he followed Lin Fei. The two of them arrived at a clearing in a forest, where there was a small lake. In the center of the lake, a hollow appeared in a strange posture before their eyes. Chapter 7. Shorts Boy Aru. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Doctor, what is this? Asked Sunny. Lin Fei shook his head. It was precisely because he discovered this hole that he did not go to Iwatani City. He had a premonition that if he could investigate what this hole was, he could really become a doctor. Why don't we go over and take a look? Sunny suggested. He is full of curiosity about this world. Lin Fei shook his head again and said, although I don't know what's inside, Nido told me there's danger inside and it's very resistant to getting close. Larula's, do you feel anything when you get close to here? Lin Tian asked. Larula shook her head, she didn't notice anything, perhaps because her strength was too weak, so she couldn't feel it. At this moment, Larula's didn't know that the reason she didn't feel it was not because she was too weak, but because her dreamy essence and blood were too strong. Nido's strength is purple, and her premonition is usually not wrong. I plan to stay here until I discover the secret here. And you, Xiaotian, what are your plans? I plan to gather all the badges first and then participate in a national trainer competition. In the world of Pokémon, if I don't win the national championship, it's not a waste of time. You're really amazing, then go ahead. If one day you're strong enough, remember to come back and explore this void with me. Maybe there's a divine beast inside. Ha ha ha. Lin Fei joked. Capturing divine beasts is the dream of every trainer. Say goodbye to Lin Fei, and continue on the journey with Larula's on a sunny day. It took several days to hike through the forest, and a small stream stood in front of a sunny day. The stream flows leisurely, and the water surface is like a clear mirror, clear and transparent. According to the map in the guidebook, after crossing the creek, you will arrive at Lin'an City. At this moment, a boy in shorts saw the sunny day and ran over. You have a trainer guidebook in your hand, right? Are you a trainer? Do you want to have a trainer battle with me? Said the young man excitedly. Without waiting for a Sunny reply, he took out his own Pokémon ball from his pocket. Okay. I am Aru from Qingshui Township. I am currently a wild trainer, challenging you. I am Sunny from Anyang Town, trainer ID AY12138, accepting your battle. I want to beat you with the Carp King that my dad gave me. Come out, Bobo. Upon hearing Aru's words, Sunny couldn't help but want to laugh. The Carp King is a very strange elf. This elf was once rated in the game as the weakest and most pitiful elf in the world, with almost no strength or speed. In the game, its race value is in the top 10 to the bottom, belonging to the weakest existence. In this world, the Carp King is also the same. Although everyone knows that its evolutionary type is a very powerful Cyprinosaurus, not many people will really cultivate the Carp King. After all, it's really too weak. However, the evolutionary conditions of the Tyrannosaurus rex are too strict, and there have been no published evolutionary conditions for the Tyrannosaurus rex on the market. Sunny knows that in the game, the evolution condition of the stormy carp dragon only needs to reach level 20, but in this world, there is no concept of level, so naturally this evolution condition is also incorrect. And once a large amount of resources are spent on the Carp King, but the Carp King has not evolved yet, the ultimate result is self-evident. Without further ado, return to battle. Aru's Carp King leaped out of the water, with golden scales shining in the sunlight. On a sunny day, the waves flutter their wings and fly, carrying a light aura. Carp King, use water splashing to jump. Aru gave the command, and Carp King nimbly jumped on the water surface, creating beautiful splashes, but did not cause substantial damage to Bobo. Sunny smiled and commanded Bobo, "Bobo, use your impact skill." The Carp King keenly sensed the scent of Bobo and attempted to dodge, but Bobo's impact speed was extremely fast and successfully hit the Carp King, making a huge impact sound. "Damn it, Carp King, hold on, remember the bonds between us." Aru saw that the Carp King was in a disadvantageous position and took a deep breath. But being bound by the value of race was not worth mentioning, and the Carp King was quickly defeated, with his eyes turning into a daze. "If we continue to attack, we can have carp soup tonight." "Well done, Bobo." Although it was just a victory over the Carp King, Sunny praised Bobo fiercely and then picked him up. "The Carp King that Dad gave me is not good either." Aru felt a bit frustrated. On a sunny day, instead of repairing the knife, he comforted and said, "It's common for our trainers to win or lose. How can we blame ourselves for a game failure?" Aru looked up at the sunny day, felt his kindness and encouragement, and nodded. "Thank you, sunny day. You're right, this is a valuable experience. I will work hard to improve the strength of the Carp King, and we will have another competition next time." Sunny continued, "That's right, the path of trainers is full of challenges. Don't forget, our goal is to constantly grow and become better trainers." Aru's mood gradually became clear, and he felt the understanding and support of the sunny day. The two chatted for a while again, and after learning that their destinations were both in Lin'an City, they decided to travel together. "Why didn't you put Larula's into the Pokémon Ball?" Aru asked. "Larula's is my family," Sunny picked him up and said seriously to Aru. Larula's lowered his head awkwardly and buried himself in his small chest on a sunny day, but his mood was very cheerful. But on a sunny day, it made Larula's angry again. "Larula seems to have gained a lot of weight again, it's really difficult to hold." The sunny day whispered softly, and Larula's in her arms heard it clearly. In an instant, Larula's walked ahead in a huff. Upon seeing this, Sunny quickly stepped forward to apologize and repeatedly explained that he lacked exercise and had nothing to do with Larula's. Larula's is the cutest little elf in the world, the gentlest little elf in the world, and the most generous little elf in the world. This finally calmed Larula's, but the proud Larula's didn't want to hold her on sunny days, but only allowed her to hold her hand on sunny days. Seeing the sunny day with Larula's, Aru felt envious but also had a feeling of being full. Arriving in Lin'an City, this city is renowned as a training center for insect spirits. The architectural style on both sides of the street blends with the surrounding natural scenery, giving people a sense of tranquility in mystery. Unlike challenging the dojo on a sunny day, Aru came here to work and purchase a qualified insect-type elf because he was short of money, thus officially stepping into the path of training. After all, the Carp King has no combat power, and with the help of the Carp King, Origin may not have even received 8 medals in this episode. Why not go to the wild to catch elves? There are 2 main reasons. Firstly, wild elves missed the optimal cultivation period, and forced cultivation requires a large amount of resources. Secondly, wild elves have low obedience and are easy to escape. Although Pokémon can be tamed by Pokémon, Pokéball does not have the ability to increase favorability in anime. A low favorability Pokémon is very dangerous for trainers, and if we have to say it, modifying the Pokémon's favorability setting for the catcher is too dark. Moreover, if we really have this technique, isn't capturing people more fragrant than capturing Pokémon? So unless it is a very rare or destined elf, most trainers will not choose to capture wild elves as their main elf, but rather choose to incubate eggs for cultivation. As a trainer member, Lin'an can stay overnight for free at the elf center. After saying a few good words to Miss Joey arranged a double bedroom for Lin'an, avoiding Aru's fate of staying on the street. Chapter 8. Lin'an Daoguan. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The next day, just after dawn, on a sunny day, we went to the Insect Science Museum with Aru. The Insect Infestation Museum in Lin'an City is located in a spacious park in the city center, surrounded by lush trees and colorful flowers. The architecture of the Daoguan adopts natural materials to blend into the surrounding environment, emitting a sense of harmony with nature. In front of the main entrance of the Daoguan stands an ancient arch, carved with various insect-like elf images, appearing simple and exquisite. The stone steps in front of the door lead to a spacious courtyard, where insect-themed elf sculptures are distributed, each of which is lifelike, as if telling legendary stories of insect-themed creatures to trainers. The hall inside the museum is decorated with ancient insect totems, and the exquisite wooden walls are adorned with portraits of ancient insect trainers. In the center of the hall is a spacious arena surrounded by an audience, indicating that it is a place for trainers to compete for strength. In the insect-themed museum, there is a fresh aroma of grass and trees, intertwined with the natural scent of insect-themed elves. The sunlight shone through the transparent glass windows on the arena, illuminating the figures of two trainers, creating a sacred and solemn atmosphere. The trainers are competing here, fighting to obtain the insect emblem. The owner of the insect-based Taoist hall is a young insect-based trainer, but his superb skills and profound combat experience have benefited every trainer who comes to challenge him greatly. To participate in the Daoguan Challenge, advance reservation is required, and if there are no members of the Elf Alliance, a fee needs to be paid in order to challenge. The minimum requirement for participating in the National Trainer Competition is to obtain 8 Taoist school badges with different attributes. For example, if you obtain the insect-type badge of Lin'an Taoist School on a sunny day, then even if you successfully challenge in other insect-type Taoist schools, the badge you obtain cannot be considered as the second Taoist school badge. Each sect has its own battle requirements, but in order to take care of new trainers, the first 3 medals are not allowed to make any battle requirements, and the sect owner's use of elf strength must not exceed green. It is worth mentioning that although Larula's travels with Sunny, she is not considered a Sunny elf because Sunny has not yet tamed her, so Larula's is also not allowed to participate in the dojo competition. On the sunny day now, there is actually only one elf. The Elf Center will have a comprehensive test during treatment to determine the overall strength of the elves and provide a score. In most cases, this score is reliable. For example, on a sunny day, Bobo's current rating is 12, which belongs to the white strength. If the rating can exceed 20, it can reach green. As for Lala Rash, the test result is 39, which belongs to the top green category. It is only a little short of breaking through the green and reaching the blue color. As mentioned earlier, the world power is divided into 7 levels. White, green, blue, purple, orange, red, and black. 0.19 is white, 20.39 is green, 40.59 is blue, 60.70 is purple, 71.80 is orange, 81.100 is red, and above 100 is black. Currently, according to news reports, having 3 purple Pokémon is almost enough to win the Young Group Championship in the Pokémon competition. The requirement for a Young Group Champion is to have at least 1 orange Pokémon. As for the elf data at the Heavenly King level, it is confidential to the Elf Alliance and not publicly disclosed. The current sunny weather is also unknown. Hello, your application has been submitted. Please come to challenge at 10 a.m. in 3 days. If there are any special circumstances, please contact us in a timely manner. Otherwise, if you are absent or late, it will be considered as a failed challenge. The receptionist politely handed over a receipt. "Can I challenge it?" Aru asked. The receptionist said, "Hello, please provide me with your trainer number so that I can check it." "I am a wild trainer," Aru lowered his head. "Okay, I see. You can still challenge without being a member of the Elf Alliance, but you need to pay a challenge fee of 1,000 yuan. The receptionist's tone remained gentle, and she didn't look down on Aru just because he wasn't a member, which made it impossible to push forward the storyline of the fake comedy. "Then I'll come back later." When Aru heard that he wanted to pay, he awkwardly refused with a tight budget. Just as it was sunny and Aru was planning to visit the dojo, the receptionist girl spoke up again. "Do the two trainers want to make money?" Upon hearing the news of earning money, Aru's eyes lit up and he turned around to ask. "What do you want me to do?" Sunny is also very interested in this. Although parents tell them they don't have money, who doesn't want to make money on their own? Our dojo has a manor next to the Lost Forest, where there are tens of thousands of insect-type elves. It is now the season for the evolution of unicorns and green caterpillars, and we need people to collect the evolved iron shell pupae and iron shell pupae for our future management. If you don't mind the trouble, you can work part-time and collect 1 iron shell pupa for 30 yuan and 1 iron shell pupa for 50 yuan. And if you collect 1,000, you can bring 10 Pokémon balls to our estate to catch Pokémon. No matter what Pokémon you catch, they belong to you. Let me tell you quietly, we often see Heracles in our estate. Upon hearing what the front desk lady said so well, the sunny weather in the past life, which had been deceived by various advertising and marketing, immediately became wary. There will be no pies falling from the sky, and even if they do, they are poisonous. However, at this moment, Lalula's, who had been quiet all along, tugged at Sunny's clothes and used her ability to communicate with her soul to talk to Sunny. "Xiao Tian, go earn money and buy me a phone." Sunny looked at Lalula's in surprise, but before she could speak, Lalula's continued. "I miss my mom." Upon hearing Lalula's words, her nose started to ache on a sunny day. It was Lalula's first time on a long trip, and it was normal for her to miss her mother. "I made an immediate decision, even if it was a pit, I jumped myself." Seeing their agreement, the receptionist immediately made a phone call using her phone. In no time, a muscular man wearing a white vest came over. "Uncle's name is Kuko and he is the owner of the estate." From his mouth, it was only clear that the iron shell pupa was relatively easy to collect, but the iron shell kun was difficult to collect. The reason was that most unicorns would gather together and evolve together, but there was always a sequence. Unicerates without evolution would protect the evolved iron shell pupa at this time. When the iron shell pupa broke out, the great needle bee would also protect other unicorns and iron shell pupa. If unfortunately we get pricked by a giant wasp, the taste will be unpleasant. The workers in the estate are unwilling to do this, so we can only hire trainers to help us collect it, explained Kuko. Upon hearing Kuko's words, Sunny also understood the situation. After realizing that it was true that collecting 1,000 would allow one to enter the manor and capture elves, Sunny summed it up and felt that it could be done. "I currently only have 1 Bobo, which is severely lacking in combat power. Although most insect-type elves have a short lifespan, if I really catch a powerful elf like Heracles with good luck, it will not only have strong strength, but also a long lifespan. It is one of the few excellent spirits in the insect type, and of course, the most excellent and common one is the giant claw mantis, but this elf is hard to come by. The purpose of a sunny day is to become a powerful hornet or butterfly." Lalula said that on sunny days when she works hard, she will be responsible for guiding Popo to practice the windward technique and strive to learn this technique before the dojo competition. Chapter 9. There really is Heracles. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Uncle Kuko first arranged a dormitory for the two of Sunny Day. After learning that Sunny Day would be playing a dojo competition 3 days later, Uncle Kuko boldly stated that he would send Sunny Day to the dojo early that morning. With Uncle Kuko's promise, the only stone in Sunny's heart was also put down. After a simple training, Sunny and Aru started working. At first, I didn't dare to take too much risk on a sunny day. After all, I was just hit by the poison needle skill of a unicorn beetle not long ago, and the feeling was not good. So on sunny days, only look for the iron beetle pupa. After all, green caterpillars are much gentler than unicorns. I touched the head of the iron armor pupa, and counting this, I collected 20 iron armor pupa on a sunny day. In this case, I earned 600 yuan in just one morning. Looking at Aru again, Aru is a typical rural boy who is not afraid of the heavens or the earth. Unlike being cautious on a sunny day, Aru probably catches insects at home. He rushes towards the iron shell pupa with great momentum and roars loudly. The unicorn beetle is so frightened that it dare not act recklessly. By the time the unicorn beetle responds, Aru has already returned holding 3 or 4 iron shell pupae. In the morning, Aru collected about 50 iron shell pupae, which cost about 2,500 yuan. I really envy sunny days. Bobo probably suffered a lot under the special training of Larula's, and as soon as he rested at noon, he crawled into the arms of the sunny day. No matter what Larula said, he wouldn't come out. Finally, Larula's forcefully dragged it out with his psychic power. Looking pitifully at his own waves, Sunny couldn't bear it anymore, so he closed his eyes. I feel much better in my heart. Aru muttered beside him, Sunny, I envy you so much. With such a great little elf like Larula's, would actually help you train the elves. Feeling embarrassed and scratching his head on this sunny day, I couldn't tell him that it was my chosen walk through welfare. After lunch break, Sunny decided to learn from Aru and started pretending to shout at the unicorn beetle, then was chased by a group of poisonous needles from the unicorn beetle all the way. Upon seeing this, Aru made a strange sound in his mouth. Upon hearing the sound, the unicorn beetle immediately stopped chasing after the sunny day and fled one by one in a hurry. Seeing the situation on a sunny day, I couldn't help but wonder. Aru, why do you shout, unicorn beetles and then run away, while I shout, they're not afraid. Too many unicorns gather together, and their courage also increases. You see, every time I yell and scream, in fact, every time I look for 2 or 3 unicorns, they will run away when scared. I see. Sunny understood and foolishly headed towards the unicorn stronghold. The group of unicorn monsters had to be afraid of him, but Sunny remembered the strange cry Aru had just imitated, so he asked again. What was that sound you made just now? How could it scare them away in one go? That's the call of the big-billed sparrow. The diet of the big-billed sparrow includes the unicorn beetle, so when they hear this sound, they are scared and run away. However, they can't keep using it. If they keep using it, these insects will soon know that there is no danger at all. If we encounter the same situation again, we will be in trouble. After hearing Aru say that, Sunny understands. The story of the wolf coming seems really classic. Can I also scare them off by learning the sound of waves? Asked Sunny. Arabai glanced at him and said, why bother learning how to make waves? Can't you just learn how to compare sculptures? As he spoke, Aru made a flying gesture and muttered, Bidiao. Both of them were amused. Aru guided for a few sunny days, and the two of them started collecting iron shell pupae again. Alu, here. Sunny walked up to Alu and quietly pointed to a dwarf tree in the distance. The mood on a sunny day was excited because he actually saw a huge unicorn fairy sleeping soundly holding onto the low tree. Heracles. Aru let out a cry of surprise. I can't believe there's really Heracles here, and the receptionist didn't deceive anyone. In the game, Heracles also has excellent race values, especially its attack race value of up to 125, which highlights its strength. This is a Pokémon that can only become an ace. On a sunny day, I used the trainer's guidebook to record Heracles. After all, this elf is also considered a relatively rare elf. The two of them didn't wake it up, but turned around to continue working. However, they both had a thought in their hearts. Quickly collect 1,000 pupae. If they can really tame a Heracles, then it will take off. After the two of them left, Heracles slowly opened his eyes, glanced at their distant figures, and continued to sleep. In the evening, Uncle Kyuk helped the two calculate their salaries. On a sunny day, he collected 30 iron shell pupae and 56 iron shell kuan, totaling 3,700 yuan. However, with a wave of his hand, Uncle Kyuk gave Sunny Day 4,000 yuan. As for Aru, he collected 15 iron shell pupae and 102 iron shell kuan, and Uncle Kyuk directly gave him 6,000 yuan. Both children are extremely happy. Uncle Kuko is also very happy in his heart. The market price for a giant hornet is about 6,000 yuan, and Bada Dai can also be sold for 5,000 yuan. His own cost is almost zero. As long as he keeps them in a cage before they evolve into giant hornets, they can be sold as commodities. At night, on a sunny day, I handed the money to Larulus and asked her to take good care of it. After all, the most important thing for me to earn money is to buy a phone for my lovely sister. When I earn 6,000 yuan, I'll buy you a better phone. Holding Lalula's on my lap, I promised on a sunny day. Lalu. Lalula's was extremely happy, and on a sunny day, his brother was the best. With a bang, Bobo rushed out of the poke ball. Squeezing Larula's aside, the sound of waves kept going on. Even without a translation from Larula's, the sunny day knew that Popo was complaining about being bullied by Larula's and helplessly reached out to comb its feathers. Larula's, however, paid no attention and counted the money seriously in his hand. Bo, good brother. Your elder brother and I have to hand over all the money to her. You asked me to seek justice for you, but you have chosen the wrong person. Aru looked at the joyful scene on the sunny side, and then at the stunned Carp King, feeling a bit sad. He raised his hand and gave a chestnut to the Carp King with a thud. Hiss, my hand hurts from hitting. Carp King. At night, after lulling Larulus to sleep, the sunny day saw Aru planning to go out. So he also got up and followed out. The two of them didn't speak, just confirmed with their eyes, so they went out to work again with their headlights on. After leaving the room far away, the two began to chatter incessantly. This is my first time earning so much money, I can't sleep at all. That's right, me too. I'll be working overtime for 2 hours tonight, and I'll try to break 10,000 tomorrow. I'll buy a powerful little elf then. Hurry up and gather 1,000 pupae, then we'll go catch Heracles together. Yes, I think the same way. Seeing Heracles today made me extremely excited. I have already thought of the scene where I swept around after conquering Heracles. Sorry, I have made a reservation for Heracles. If you want to fart, I have collected over 100 pupae. I will definitely gather 1,000 pupae before you do. Should we go and see if Heracles is still there? Let's go. Chapter 10. Evolution of the Great Needle Bee. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Heracles left the low tree and disappeared without a trace. The two of them were slightly disappointed, but on second thought, they also felt normal. After all, if Heracles had been here all this time, the two would have doubted whether this was a statue. At night, most elves fell asleep, and the unicorn beetle was no exception. Of course, there are also many elves who engage in nighttime activities, such as speaker crickets. However, it seemed to be immersed in its own melody, and on this sunny day, the two of them also slowed down their movements to avoid disturbing its performance. After being busy for over 2 hours, the two of them felt tired and had difficulty collecting at night. Their progress was a bit slow. Counting the pupae each collected, 15 were collected on a sunny day, and 20 were collected by Aru. After placing the pupae, the two of them returned to their dormitories to lie down. The next day is dawn. The sunny day was awakened by Aru. The pupae we collected are missing. Upon hearing these words, even the sunny day woke up. Find Uncle Cuckoo and inform him of this matter. Uncle Cuckoo smiled and said. You don't need to be so motivated either. The pupae may have been taken away by other workers. I'll check and you can rest assured that I will definitely take note of the work done. With Uncle Cuckoo's assurance, the two finally felt at ease and began their busy work of collecting insect pupae again. Larulus came halfway to tell Sunny the good news that Popo had mastered the ultimate skill of raising the wind. Upon hearing this good news, Sunny gave Larulus a big hug and then started working with great enthusiasm. When the two of them were carrying the iron shell to the specially made iron cage, the sunny day suddenly spoke up. Aru, do you think if we hold on to iron shell Kun and it suddenly evolves, would it recognize us as its mother? Sunny remembered when Popo was a child, he mistakenly treated himself as his mother. In the end, it was Larulus who corrected him for a long time before Popo changed his mind. What are you thinking? It's not hatched from an egg. Iron Shell Kun is also an elf, okay. Arabai glanced at the sunny day but didn't pay attention to his feet. He stumbled over a stone and the iron shell in his hand scattered all over the ground. Are you okay? Sunny asked. It's okay, Aru waved his hand. But at this moment, the iron shell on the ground emitted a faint white light, and then the white light grew stronger and stronger, making the sunny day feel bad. Sure enough, after the white light flashed by, the three big hornets looked at Sunny and Aru with great eyes. Sunny, when you look at us, do they treat us like mothers? Run. On a sunny day, it was pierced by a unicorn beetle. As the final evolutionary form of the unicorn beetle, its strength cannot be underestimated, especially the three venomous needles of the giant hornet, which are known to have extraordinary power at a glance. Don't run at this moment, wait for when. Help! Aru shouted while running. There are many staff members in the estate, and upon hearing the commotion here, they quickly rushed over. But these three big hornets are not afraid at all. One person is also stinging, and two people are also stinging. Most of the staff did not have the habit of cultivating little elves, and for a while, a few people were chased by this group of big hornets. Hurry up and inform the manor master to bring the elves over, a staff member shouted. On a sunny day, I think of Larulus. Bobo and it are training in the grassland outside, and Bobo, who has learned the ultimate flying skill, should have a way to deal with the giant hornet. Larulus was supervising Popo's skillful use of the wind technique when he suddenly saw Sunny and Aru running towards him panting heavily. Just as I was wondering, I saw Bobo rushing towards me on a sunny day and running back. Unknowingly, Larulus could only follow and see what happened. Bobo, you've been training hard these past few days. Now is the time to test your training results. Sunny said to Bobo. Wave. Bobo is also very powerful. Last time, he was almost wrapped into Zongzi with silk by several unicorns. Now it's time to take revenge. Although the great needle bee was restrained by Bobo, it was ultimately evolved and the three of them gathered together. Faced with Bobo's provocation, the three great needle bees were not afraid at all. Instead, they waved their poisonous needles and launched an attack first. Bobo, quickly dodge. Then use the wind. Qing Tian shouted. Bobo obediently flapped his wings to avoid the attack of the big hornet, flew into the sky, and then waved his wings. He saw Bobo blow a whirlwind and hit a big hornet. But there were still two large wasps that were not affected by the whirlwind. One large wasp continued to attack the waves, while the other large wasp attacked towards a sunny day. On a sunny day, 10,000 horses have run past in my heart. Aren't we elves fighting each other? You guys should first fight the trainer, don't you talk about martial arts. Is there any royal law, is there any law? However, the abacus of this giant hornet was clearly empty, and a light green light appeared on its body, which was controlled by its psychic powers. Larulus, who came over, made a move. The mental power move can only limit its time for a short while. However, this little time also gave Sunny a chance to react. Sunny quickly ran backwards. This was the battle of the little elves. As a trainer, I still had to go to a safe place, otherwise it would only cause trouble for the elves. Seeing the sunny day go far away, Lalulus finally felt relieved. Use your psychic power again to attack the hornet, this time it's the most powerful psychic power attack. One blow will kill you, and the hornet cannot fight. Lalulus couldn't help but feel that this giant hornet was too weak compared to the one he had encountered for the first time in the Lost Forest. On the other hand, after confirming one's own safety, look towards Bobo on a sunny day. Without a clear command, Bobo foolishly engaged in a battle with the remaining two large needle bees. If it weren't for the insect-type ultimate move of the large needle bees that halved Bobo's damage, it was estimated that Bobo would have been unable to fight long ago. Bobo, keep an eye on the big hornet on the left to attack, first avoid its venomous needle, and then use pecking. After receiving command, Bobo changed his previous decadence. After dodging the venomous needle attack from the hornet, a white light appeared on his beak, and the powerful beak fiercely pecked at the hornet's body. The hornet pounced twice and fell to the ground. The remaining large hornet saw that both of its companions had been defeated and had lost its previous arrogance, waving its thin wings in an attempt to escape. The sunny day was about to command Bobo to pursue, but a buzzing sound of wings could be heard from afar. It's actually Heracles. I saw Heracles dancing his small wings, flying over with all his might, and then making a corner kick at the fleeing hornet. The big hornet cannot fight immediately. Then Heracles glanced at the scene and saw that all the other big hornets had been dealt with before slowly flying away. At this moment, the staff came over to clean up the mess. Just now, the big needlebee knocked down a lot of things. Big brother, what's wrong with this Heracles? Aru couldn't help but be curious and asked. You say, Daoguan, it's the elf of the manor owner. Usually, if there's a problem in the manor, it's it that solves it, the worker explained lightly.